Welcome back to the Sharp Knife Lawyer. Today I have the WorkSharp RMX Compact and a drop point. Uh, they, as the taping of this video, they're about $129 on the website. This is given to me by a friend who wanted me to check it out. So a couple things I noticed right out of the box. I'm just going to see there's some blade play, back and forth blade play. So far that's the big thing through all my testing that I found on it. It does flip easy enough. You do have to push the button to even open it or to close it. And this is, I have not yet changed it out to the automatic position yet, but I'll do another video on that in the future. So it comes in the M390 steel. The edge wasn't the best when I got on it, but let's see how it compares to the specs. I'm going to post the specs somewhere right up in here from the WorkSharp website. But first thing I'm going to measure here, let's measure the cutting area of the blade. Go back, there we go. I get 2.17 inches on the cutting area of the blade. Overall length of the knife and this is supposed to be the most accurate way to measure. I got 5 and 49/64. The blade itself comes in at 2 and 49 and 128. What I call the deepest part of the blade was 1 and 3/64 inches, or let me just see, there it is, 1 and 7/28 inches. Immediately behind the tip. I'm sorry, not the tip, the 0.9, there we go, 0.979 inches. Thickness at the spine. 2.299 millimeters, so let's call it 2.3 millimeters. Thickness right behind the tip. I'm getting 1.2 millimeters right behind the tip. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do, just like I did on the last knife, we're going to do the edge retention, and we'll do the, see how well it does with both, I believe with both cardboard and with the rope, and we'll go from there. Here's the sharpening test right out of the box. Here you can see that I'm using a Bess tester. What this does, it uses a small filament and it measures how many grams of pressure it takes to cut through that filament. I placed the cheat sheet on the left to describe what's sharp and what's not sharp, but just for general nomenclature, the lower the number, just like in golf, the better it is. So this first time I tested the blade in 3 spots, I had readings of 109, 120, and 181. Here are a couple shots under the microscope of the blade before I did any of the testing. You can see there's still a little bit of a burr left from whenever they sharpened it. But I wanted you to pay special attention to this tip to see how little damage it got in the drop test later on in the video. Starting to make all the cuts into the Manila rope. Again, I use Manila ropes just so we can, I find it's a very good, natural, very tough fiber. In the real world, they usually cut it with loppers because it's so hard to cut through. I find it really does challenge a blade's ability to hold an edge, especially in the simpler steels, but this is the first time using it on the M390. So after I've done about 50 of these cut tests, I will show you what the next sharpening test looks like. So I ran the sharpness test again after cutting through all of the rope, and the numbers I came up with were 367, 210, 314, and then when I looked at the blade I saw one really bright damaged area, and that came in at 416. And here's what the blades look like after I did all 50 of the cuts. Okay, we're going to just see how hard this is. This test is not perfect. I'm going to start off with the lowest file and work my way up. This is 40 HRC, and it just glides right off. 45 HRC, again, it just glides right off. I go with the 50, still no bite. My 55. My 60. Okay, even my 65 is not biting. I'm gonna see if I can get this to focus, just so you can see. Sorry, I'm having to manually do it. Just the 65 glided right off. Again, these are approximations. They're not the replacement for a Rockwell hardness tester. I'll say again, if someone wants to donate one to the channel, I'll be more than happy to take it. But that's it. Next up was the drop test. Here you can see a couple pictures of the tip. This is the only damage done on the knife. If you look back on the ruler, that is 1 millimeter between each of the lines. So that is so little damage for such a drop. I had another mix-up on this one. I lost the footage of actually cutting cardboard. But I did cut the cardboard. You can see in some of these spots, you see a mark where I tried to center all the cuts on the cardboard. When I cut them, and then I did the test afterwards, pre-cut it was 198. 5 cuts, it only went down to 208. But at 10 cuts through about 12 inches of cardboard each cut, it dropped to 346. After all this testing, what did I think of the knife? First, the good. I like the ability to ship the knife to the U.S. Post Office without violating several laws, both state and local. But now I have actually switched out the pivot for the automatic pivot, which will be another video for itself shortly. This is my first experience with M390 steel, and this knife is incredibly tough. As you saw from the pictures, there's less than 1 millimeter of damage, dropping the knife 4 times straight on its tip from 4 feet straight onto a concrete patio. Of all the knives I've tested, this came out with the least damage. Now, while I can sharpen it with a Shaft and Rockstar stones, it takes a while. It does a lot better with diamonds. It also holds an edge very well. You're not going to sharpen it often. It's very fidget friendly in the non-automatic and automatic versions. Now for the bad. For a knife in this price range, there is a lot of blade play in both configurations. I know this is a brand new concept, and I hope WorkSharp gets the bugs worked out soon. Also, it could be my sample size of 1 is not statistically relevant, so I could just have a one-off. That being said, for the knife collector, for someone who may live or need to travel to more restrictive jurisdictions, is a great way to get an automatic knife, and therefore I would consider it a good buy. If you're interested in a more budget-friendly knife, take a look at my Harbor Freight icon review. It will be somewhere up in here. If you want to see more honest knife reviews, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when my videos come out. I hope you have a great rest of your day.